People tell you that these are the same person, but they're not. They may share the same name, the same date of birth, the same DNA even, but they are not the same. This girl grew up thinking she was worthless, a child of Satan. She could never please God and was destined for hell. She was raised to believe that she had no voice, primarily because of being female. Any thoughts or opinions that questioned her father and her religion were of the devil, because she was his, and he came to detect what was his, and her thoughts therefore had to be shackled, repressed, and held captive under the name of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. She tried so hard to follow a godly life, to deny herself and take up her cross, but she started to realize that she must have been continuing to do something terribly wrong, because she was beginning to be touched in places she should not have been touched, especially at such a tender age. She must have sinned, and the sin must have been great to really have displeased God to allow him to do this to her. So she didn't deserve any help from anyone. At least that's our Father berated her when she came begging to him for safety and protection, and he was a self-proclaimed prophet and voice of God, so he had to be right? Desperate cries and pleadings to God himself, begging to know where she was angry, and the Almighty fell on deaf ears as the touching continued, accompanied by beatings that varied in occurrence and frequency. She kept crying out, but her cries remained unheard and ignored, so she learned to fall silent, be quiet, as if fists rained down on her. She must have done something so horribly unforgivable to not be answered, so why bother crying out? She was so sad, anxious, terrified to go to bed at night, full knowing what awaited her, along with being terrified to make a single mistake ever. She had no voice. She was trapped in her own home. She even also liked girls along with guys, and sometimes questioned if she was actually meant to be female. How much more could she possibly disappoint the Almighty, who continued to ignore her? Death tempted her for a while. She felt foolish, dumb, was always told how lazy she was told frequently that she was possessed by the devil, and that Satan was using her to cause trouble amongst her own siblings and family. And God was so angry with her that if she didn't change, she would definitely be destined to hell. She was called fat, could never eat the right amount of food, was called horrific names because of her eating habits, and was forced to starve herself. But it was all in the name of God, according to her father, the prophet. So this woman was quiet. Did as she was told. She was a good religious girl, never questioned her place in the dust where she was thrown down, and so brutally trodden on, accepting whatever punishment the Almighty poured down on her whenever he felt like it, according to what her father said. Being constantly reminded how much her father wanted her and her mum and siblings dead every day. The dust was all she knew, where she was constantly thrown until it broke her to pieces. And she must have deserved that too. But then someone came into her life, someone who was rough, a wannabe hermit, and also, to be quite honest, crazy and just plain odd. He also came from like the opposite side of the world to her. There was something about him that made her start looking back on her life, made her question everything she believed about what was going on. This person showed her without even realizing he was showing her the truth about the system that she was in, the truth about the torture, the abuse and lies, the manipulation that she was under and that was keeping her enslaved. They opened her eyes to what a horrible place she was in and showed her that there was more, way more to her and to everything, and that there was a way to find herself, her true self. Without realizing it, they handed her the keys. They handed her the match. Desperate and curious, she took these matches, these keys. She took the inspiration they gave her, and opening the door, she took the first step, and then the next, and then the next, and the next after that. He made the spark, but she set it ablaze. Each step she took was a battle. Storms, floods, thunder, blizzards, demons, they all came pouring out to stop her, to force her back. But with each determined inch forward, she peeled back little by little the layers of lies she'd been forced to consume about herself, and made her confront the truth. Little by little, with each step, she uncovered the light within her, the utter power within herself that she held, that if she would only trust herself to take the reins and unleash it. And the full and rich life she would have, the pathway she would forge, the utter divinity of her being that would blaze around in and throughout her, and to all around her, if she would only take it. Alas, to do that was a hard lesson to learn. She wanted to jump straight in, but it was too overwhelming, so she jumped back out. She was utterly terrified for a while to step into it again, to own it, accept and harness her energy, to come into everything that she truly was and truly is. Because what if? What if this wasn't right? What if her father was right about her and God and what God wanted with her and to do with her the whole time? What if she truly was ungrateful and rebellious, and what if she didn't deserve this goodness and potential that she was uncovering and displaying before her very self? This is a lesson that she learned and relearned many a time through the assistance of that one person. He helped her learn. He was there by her side through every slip up, comforting her, helping her center herself and retrace her steps whenever she would get lost. And doubtless she did indeed get lost many a time. He helped to piece it back together, always reminding her of her worth and potential. Slowly she learned to accept and submit to this power within her, this energy, all the odd and controversial parts of herself, her true and uniquely powerful essence of being, until it began to transform her. It shaped her, turned her into something new. Her wings began to uncurl and come forth, wide and eager, and a crown emerging as she starts becoming whom she was truly meant to be, something that was horrifically stolen from her before she could even become aware of it. If her transformation is complete, she cannot tell you, as she is not quite sure herself, but she now knows the path she must pursue on a quest. If it's a path and a quest that she'll be pledged to for eternity, or just a starter until a new quest emerges, she cannot say. But her armour is fastened, her crown secure, her feet steady, so on this path she sets out, her light firm. No more father, no more religion, once quiet, scared and submissive, now loud and strong and passionate. Completely shed off her old skin and has stepped completely into the new skin, which also has new labels and everything, for she is no longer just a she, but a they, and also a he. They are now the beautiful person that they were originally meant to be when they were being created. No matter what happens, no matter if they slip, they strive and fight to stay on the path they are on. Alongside that one solitary person alongside their side, to fight alongside them, encouraging them to step into their power every single day, to help them when they can't help themselves. Always there. She has her true power. She has stepped into her being. She knows her own worth and will fight as a queen she has realized she has. She'll never go back. Their power and light can only reach upwards, for he set the spark, but their divinity set it ablaze.